Welcome to the Growth Shifters podcast, where we talk to trailblazers who have shifted their perspective to grow their business and themselves. Today, we've got Marilù Chiappatoni on the show. And Marilù is the founder and CEO of Gingerbread House Designs and Digital Agency, and she helps grow brands to stand out online. She was born and raised in Italy and came to Canada in 2022 at 23 years old. And what I admire so much about Marilù is that she's had huge life changes year after year after year since coming to Canada, and she just keeps showing up and building and growing. So Marilù, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for having me. I'm always so excited when I'm on podcasts.
You're welcome. I'm excited to have you here. So you've been in Canada for 3 years, and you said you were sponsored by a company to come and work here. And I'm thinking that a lot of people, if they were given that opportunity, would shrink from it. They'd decide to stay no, they'd decide to say that, it's safer to stay at home. It's, I don't want to go across an ocean for an opportunity. So what do you think it was about either yourself or the opportunity that made you say yes?
For sure. So I came here with no job. I actually I lived the majority of my life in Italy. I immigrated when I was 22. I spent 2 months in Turkey as a volunteer, and then I was an intern in Amsterdam for 10 months. So I was living abroad 1 year before I came to Canada. Then as soon as I moved to the Netherlands, I applied for the working holiday visa, which for Italians at that time was just 6 months, while all other nationalities would have 1 to 2 year work permit, while Italians just had 6 months work permit. So it was, and in Canada, you need at least a year work experience to apply for permanent residency. So I had to bridge that gap, and the only way was to find a sponsor, which was pretty impossible at the time because the only people that I knew were sponsored were IT specialists with 10 plus years of experience, like big shots, big fish.
Right.
And I started looking for opportunities months before I moved from the Netherlands, and it happened and everyone would ask me, "Oh, you're not in Canada, then you're definitely a scam. Why we should continue the conversation with you?" Most companies thought that was their thought process.
Really?
Yeah, and also we don't want to hire somebody who's not in Canada, who doesn't have Canadian experience. Now I had the luck to work as a freelancer for 2 people right before I moved to Canada, and they are Canadian. So one is a company, and the other one is a single, like a solopreneur. And I actually, a few days before I moved here, the HR from the company that would sponsor me reached out on LinkedIn, and they said, "We found your profile on LinkedIn. We have this opportunity." And when I told them I would need a sponsor, I would expect them to react like everyone else did, meaning, "Oh, okay, then never mind, bye." They actually said no problem, which is
amazing,
which is actually crazy. And it was it was God's plan. I'm not an insane religious person, but I do believe there's some situations in life where you're guided by God, and that was definitely God's hand leading the way. And then I came to Canada, and literally 4 days after landing, I did an in-person interview with them, and then they give me like a test to complete, and then I was hired, and they confirmed, yes, we'll sponsor you after the 6 months, which was once again insane. So why coming all the way here? Since I was a little kid, I always wanted to explore the world. My parents have never been international people. They don't even speak English. I have a little sister, and I taught her English, or I facilitated her to learn English. But my parents don't speak anything but Italian, and they're not very international people. They haven't traveled as much as I have, and I knew that I wanted the opposite. I knew that I didn't want to be like them. Want to be like them for like the hard work and sacrifices for sure, but not in the sense of just like staying where I was born my whole life. And so I started learning English when I was. I mean, in Italy, we start learning English when we were like 6, but it's kind of like French here. Like everyone forgets.
Right,
Um,
right.
I just took it more and more seriously. I started watching American movies without with in Italy, like there's also that there's dub movies, which is really annoying. So you're
Hmm.
basically never like if you don't want to, you never hear English anywhere. So it's not like in other European countries they at least they put subtitles. In Italy
Right.
they just dub. And so I started watching movies in original language. First with English subtitles, then without subtitles, and just started like getting more and more fluent. And then I went to a private university in Italy. I studied in English,
Hmm.
so that definitely helped me even more. So I never, I mean, on a language perspective, I never had like a problem communicating. And I knew that I didn't want to be in Italy and Europe. I can and definitely move. I can move to any country in Europe at any moment because I'm an EU citizen.
Hmm.
I knew that it was gonna be there anyways. And after the war in Ukraine started, like things started getting pretty bad because we were literally right there. And
Yeah.
I decided to move before then, but it was kind of like, oh, maybe this is not like the best time to be in Europe. So I decided I wanted to go to the US, but it was gonna be too hard, too much money. And
Hmm.
Canada was literally the only country where you need 3 years to become a citizen. Of course, like there's a caveat. There's like, there's a path, but I saw that path. The US doesn't have that path. So yeah, that was kind of like my thought process because it was easy to be honest. But also it was in North America and I wanted to be I wouldn't have the right to work and live here if I didn't take that opportunity. So I think it was the right time because now they're like heavily restricting immigration. So it was the right time. And yeah, and overall I'm happy I made that decision. I'll apply for citizenship in less than a year, which is good. And I arrived 3 years ago. I had never set foot in Canada before, so
Wow. So this was really like a leap in the net will appear kind of moment for you then.
yeah.
Wow.
And I remember being in Amsterdam, and I had like a small. I mean, I was freelancing there as well.
Hmm.
My first client would pay me cash. Then I met, and then my second client as well. Then I met somebody who said, "Oh no, you have to issue invoices, to us." And so I opened but like I earned very little through that. It was just like a formality. But I remember, I had and I still have really good friends there. I had my community, and in 10 months I had built my little community. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna leave everything again. And I've changed like 4 countries in 2 years because I was
Incredible.
yeah. So I was in Canada first, then Turkey, then the Netherlands, and then Canada. And so right now I feel in a few years it's gonna be the time to do it again.
Yeah.
Now I have to become a citizen, and that's like I want to become a citizen. I want to have any immigration problems anymore.
Hmm.
I can come back after 10 years. I can do whatever I want. There's no immigration asking me what are you doing here, when you where's your return ticket, which for
Yeah.
to be fair to for white people is less so. Less so. Definitely I know I have Indian friends, I have non-white friends that faced problems in terms of where's your return ticket kind of thing.
Yeah. It can be really
Especially,
difficult. Yeah.
yeah. So for me it was better, but like I don't want to have immigration problems in Canada ever again. So I'm gonna make that an in time investment right now, so that I just get that passport and then I can just do what I want, have my business here if I want to, and go somewhere else.
So I'll get to how you built your business here in Canada in a minute, but I'm very curious to ask because I mean, you've dropped yourself in several new communities just within a couple of years. And I know people who have done similar things, but like to to a less extreme extent, if I can put it that way. They'd move to a new city in the same country, or they'd start a new field, and they'd have to build like a whole new network of people within that field, and they'd feel overwhelmed just from doing that. And so I'm wondering, like, what advice you would have for people who are looking to, you know, have a fresh start of some sort, and how do they go about building that network? Like, how do you go about meeting people in new places instead of just like hiding in your new apartment and
Yeah,
not talking to anybody?
yeah. It's funny. The first day, like 12 hours after I landed, I was still having interviews because I was having like a ton of interviews when I was in Amsterdam, like
Mhm.
with Canadian companies. But I was like just booking so many. It was always like the first HR interview, and then I would never hear back from them. But I got maybe like 30 plus interviews. And whenever I will say, oh, I came to Canada 12 hours ago. And I remember going to a free yoga class,
Uh-huh.
and we had like a small introduction, and I said, and I moved to Canada 4 days ago. People be like, oh, that feeling never comes back. So if you're new in any country, enjoy that feeling.
Yeah.
Enjoy the feeling of, oh my God, you're new. Oh my God, a fresh new person. Even though in Canada, you're a newcomer until year 5, which I don't feel, and people still call me a newcomer, which for me, like, am I really a newcomer? Really? I don't feel like that. I feel I've been here long enough. But regarding advice, so I did meet people that have like the same problem, and the
Hmm.
problem, not it's not always the case, but the problem is them, meaning that they don't get out.
Right.
And I'm not a person who goes out to party and drink. I've never done that,
Hmm.
but I do a lot of things, and I talk to a lot of people, even without a context. Like I might just say hi to people in a very busy place, just cause. You have to get out there. You have to get out there, find people that align with what you want to do. Like since I started my business, I've been less in touch with my employed friends. Not because, oh, these peasants still working 9 to 5, you, like most entrepreneurs are. Like, no, but it's more, they're busy 9 to 5. Now I'm busy. I'm also working events right now, so now I'm busy
Hmm.
on weekends. So like our schedule is based, and I'm like, okay, so in 40 hours a week you can never go out. Basically it's only evening, which is when I want to chill.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and I've been unemployed for near close to 2 years now. So when you do get the freedom, you really get drunk on it, and like
Hmm.
you never want to go back. But so how to create your community? There's a really good resource out there. It's called Facebook, and
Yeah.
for women is I cannot talk about men because I know that. So there's a lot of female only spaces on Facebook, and I
Hmm.
think that there's a community called Girl Gone International, which was founded by a British woman who lived abroad, who moved abroad, and she basically, I don't remember where she moved. I don't know where she's based right now, maybe somewhere in Europe, but she wanted to basically meet new people. And then now she has chapters in 54 cities around the world or something like
Wow.
that. Toronto has a chapter, Amsterdam has a chapter, Rome has a chapter. And these are all volunteer based. There's no money involved. I also volunteered as an event host for a little bit.
Hmm.
There's another really good community called Host a Sister. This is mostly for travel, but now they do have a business directory. And that they're trying to do retreats around the world. They're trying to keep the community active. So these two, but let's say move to a new city. So search on Facebook city name, and then
Hmm.
friends, meeting new friends, city name, so, and you post there and say, hey, so I'm new in this city, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is where I live, I would love to meet new people. And that's how you meet new people. And I've traveled a lot in Latin America, and I've met incredible people. And I wasn't living there, I was just there for a few days. So of course visiting is different than living, but
Yeah.
there's just so many people that are willing to help. And y I have completely different friends that what I had last year, even though I've been here. Like
Mhm.
I think I just change my circle of friends all the time, and there's some people just stay with the same friends year after year. So it's just, you cannot just be home and complain, oh my god, I'm not meeting enough people. Well, then you should get out there, either just posting on Facebook or going to more events. I have no problems going by myself, and of course
Yeah.
when you're by yourself somebody will talk to you.
That's true. That's
um
true.
so that's yeah, just, but a lot of people that complain, sometimes the problem was them. It's not, oh, it's so difficult. Yeah, I mean, it is difficult to meet people, but at least try a little
Yeah.
bit, and then you can complain it's difficult.
You're right that there's so much out there, and I have to give like a shout out to Facebook as well. I've just had so many connections and clients and friendships develop over, Facebook groups. And, I know people say, well, Facebook isn't where things are happening anymore, but like depending what you're looking for, I think it is actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
because Instagram does have marketplace, but it's not as mostly it's like brands. On Facebook, you can, there's the marketplace, you can sell your used items. There's the groups on Instagram. There's groups too, but it's a bit weird. You cannot. There's just like groups like on WhatsApp.
Right.
So that's something that Instagram and TikTok and other platforms don't have. So I think Facebook's really good for community. I think people are not actually sharing their life there anymore, but they're more like connecting, which to me
Yeah.
is. And I've used Facebook a lot, like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn are the two networks that I use the most.
Yeah. Yeah. I think LinkedIn also is pretty important to be on. I say this as someone who's there and doesn't actively post there very much. I really should. Anyway, I wanted to get back to your business trajectory because, you came to Canada, you were sponsored by the company to work here, but that's just the start of your story.
First of all, like the person who decided to sponsor me, his name is Adam. I shout out to him because and he's not my relative. He's not my friend. He was not my friend. He was not somebody that I knew, and he was a connection. And so he brought me into the country. No, he was just like a random person. And his parents were born in Italy. He was born here.
Hmm.
And I think he saw, it's like 100 years ago, my parents would have faced the same thing.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have this opportunity, I wouldn't be born in this country. And maybe I will be born in Italy, and maybe I will have less opportunities. His family is doing really well now, which I'm really happy about. But it's because his parents moved to this country and they gave them the opportunity. So I was sponsored by, and he was the person who. So his father technically owns the company, but he
Hmm.
was the president. He was the decision maker, and he was the person who said, "Yes, we're gonna set budget aside to sponsor you," which here is
Right.
just $1,300. Virtually is nothing. In the US, you pay a company has to pay $5,000 to $10,000 to
Wow.
sponsor.
I had
Yeah.
no idea.
So here it costed them $1,300 in total.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, they sponsored me, and it was okay. Then there was a ownership change in the company, and
Right.
this what happened while I was there. Like, this company has been around for, I don't want to say what company it is, but
No,
it's
you don't
been
have to. No.
no, but it's been around for so it was funded by somebody else, and then mm, the new owners was two owners,
Hmm.
not related though. They bought the company from the original owner, and so they've owned the company for like 20 years, maybe 15 years. And right now there's so one day one of the owners says, like, kind of tells the other owner, you either buy the company from me or I'll buy the company. So basically,
Uh,
one of the owners wanted to remove the other one.
right.
And one of the owners was Adam's father.
Okay.
And the other owner didn't, he knew that I was there, but
Hmm.
like he had no knowledge whatsoever of the immigration process.
Hmm.
So nothing whatsoever. It was Adam and his family. and his uncles that were doing all the process. And someday, the other owner bought the company. And at some point, the people that I was relying on for so many months on updates, my application got rejected a few times, because we weren't sent. They did everything themselves, and I love that for them, because like, DIY forever. Doesn't matter if it's a collage. Doesn't matter if it's serious immigration documents. DIY forever. This was before ChatGPT 2, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Now ChatGPT was just being developed, but they're not big ChatGPT owners. So they literally just like spent hours on the phone with immigration, just like, we sent you 20 documents. What other documents you need? We don't understand. We are a legit company. We pay taxes. And the immigration is like, no, you have to get some more documents. Like, okay. There was this ownership change, and I almost got fired 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
And also because I was working still in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the only non-Canadian. So I was working in Woodbridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an Italian neighborhood, but it's mostly like Canadians that have Italian heritage.
Right.
In Italian, by the way. So when you say I'm Italian or I'm Spanish, or we understand you are from that country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you speak the language, you're from that culture, you are from that country. In English, it's not that. Saying I'm Italian could also mean my great grandparents were born in Italy, and boom, I'm here. So to me, it's still a culture shock to kind of, because when I started working there, when I say I'm Italian, everyone was like, "Oh, me too." It's like, well, no.
Not quite the same.
It's not the same. You never had immigration problems. You don't. First of all, I cannot speak Italian to you. We didn't go to the same school system. We didn't. We're not used to the same things. And I was surrounded by people who had a lot of Italian last names, who had like Italian last names. But I was the only non-Canadian in the office, and everyone was talking. Oh, remember the big snowstorm in the 90s? Like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember growing up? You saw this TV? I was like, no. And they would mention random, and I had just arrived. Like, it was less than I worked with them the first year I was in Canada, so I was brand new. And they would mention Owen Sound, and I thought it was a person.
Oh no!
And who the hell is Owen Sound? I thought it was one of our coworkers that I never met. And then they were talking, because they had multiple locations around the country, and they had communicate the location. They would mention these freaking names I never heard in my life, and they would expect me to know. So my marketing coworkers complained a bunch of times, and they tried to get me fired, which I understand. And I understand that, oh, they probably didn't try to get, but by talking poorly about me, complaining about me all the time for things that I had no control over. Like, there was no big marketing manager. It was just me and 2 other people that did. I was social media. There was a graphic designer, and there was a paid ads person. But there was nobody that would tell us, you do this, you do that. We literally just did what we wanted, like, the whole day. So they almost tried to get me fired. Then luckily, when the new owner, and this owner, again, he has Italian roots. Like, he almost got me out of the country. And then because the previous owner, like, there was like an operations manager, was like so there was the owner, president, who was Adam, the person that brought me into the country, and then there was an operation manager. So this was like the big the throne. And the operations manager was gonna stay the same. And so Adam told her, no matter what you do whatever is in your power to let her stay in the company, at least until August. Because August was I moved in July, I got employed in August, and I needed 1 year. So because, like, let her at least reach the days. And so the day they laid me off the day I applied for residency.
Oh,
wow. They didn't waste any day. Wow. They didn't waste any time. They laid me off. I'm not gonna get into, and that day I also have a lot of stories. I'm not gonna get into that. But like is that but it feels like a movie. Like if I think about it, like,
Yeah.
wow, feels like a
Yeah.
movie. But they laid me off, and then after a few months I got my residency, but it was a few months that I didn't know. I couldn't work. I was getting EI, thank God. But like I was in a kind of limbo for 5 months. And my plan was just, oh, let's just network as much as possible. And then when I get my residency and I'm able to work again, I'll get a job. And then those 4 5 months were like, I don't want to say the best of my life, but my life changed completely. I was like, I finally had my own routine. I was like, oh, I don't have to get to Woodbridge every day, have like
Right.
a 1 hour commute anymore. I don't have to deal with people anymore. I started doing a lot of hobbies that I couldn't do because I was working in Woodbridge, and going downtown in the evening was inconvenient. And then after I was like, do I really want to go back into an office? And then I received a job offer from an agency, and I rejected it. And I'm the kind of person that like catastrophizes everything, and I'm like, what if I'm gonna get poor in 2 months? What if, oh my god, I'm gonna end up in a street? Maybe I have to go back to Italy if I cannot support myself. So all that stuff was going to my mind, and fast forward 2 years later, none of that happened. And this could happen any day, but it was kind of like, first it was just I gave myself 3 months, and then those 3 months became six, and then those 6 months became a year. And I was like, there's no going back now. Definitely it's not for everybody. Like, still a learning curve, but I made a lot of sacrifices that a lot of people don't want to make.
But what do you think it was that kept you making the choices to, not to sound trite, but to do the hard thing? And, whether you're just telling yourself, I'll do it for 3 months and see what happens. Like, what do you think made you stick with it?
Again, I got my first client, and I didn't have a contract in place. She just said how much she wanted to pay, and I was like, okay. And that was pretty much it. And then I got my second client, and none of them through referrals, mind you. Like, this is the thing that kind of, like, a lot of successful people that I know, like, I asked them, oh, how did you get this client? Like, some people that I know had like very big clients. Like, how did you get this client? Like, oh, referrals. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't know anybody who works at a big company that needs help, marketing help. So, does that mean I cannot have a big, like, maybe I received a few referrals, but it was never like, if I just chilled, it wouldn't, I wouldn't be surrounded by referrals all around. I did receive a referral the other day, which was very sweet. So what all I care about is just growing and growing and growing and growing, little by little. It's just this kind of freedom. It's just like, it's all about the freedom, to be honest.
I don't know about Italy specifically, but like I know a lot of European countries are more forgiving, for lack of a better word, around that. They have more flexible time, they have more vacation days, like just straight up more vacation days, period. But here and also in the United States, it can be really tight, like 2 weeks, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. That's how I felt. And like today, I'm gonna be taking a day off. I'm gonna be going somewhere. Right now, I'm sacrificing weekends just because I'm working on weekends. But that's honestly giving me so much freedom. It's what I'm doing right now is I'm working events because I would say if I have to get a side gig, I don't want to sit down all the time for the side gig.
Yeah.
And so I want to be all around and enjoying and having fun in a way or the other, and making money instead of, just sitting down. And I would get paid the same, to be honest. Sometimes these gigs pay even more.
And you've also like brought people on like on a contract basis as well. So you've kind of got like a sort of a network team going on too for for Gingerbread House. Like how's that been working out?
Building my business also about building a business that I like. That to me, the 9 to 5 makes no sense. It might be at some point that it makes sense because I really need something done right away. But to me, like, I don't want to keep my contractors or my employees in a country, in a place, just because you have to be here.
Right.
So yes, I literally just asked the people that I knew, like, who's the first person that comes to mind when I think about this. And by this I
Mhm.
mean, so I'm a social media manager and graphic designer. I've experienced in other fields like paid ads, email, SEO, but it's not like my main. So it's not my specialty. And if I want to give work to a lot of people do this. I'm not the only
Mhm.
one
Mhm.
who does this. So a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about. They just outsource to somebody else. It's just about being able to like talk to the client in a way, and reassure them that we know what's going on, everything is good, and
Yeah.
it's under control. And so, who's the first person that comes to mind when I think email marketing?
Right.
I have a friend. Her name is Adi, and she's in Montreal. And we just met one day, and we just I always say that we vibrate at the same frequency
Yeah.
because she has a full time job, but she also has her business, and she does email marketing.
Mhm.
And she's a really good motivational person. Like she's she we have like keep your chin up calls all the time, frequently, because I sometimes say, oh, I'm so like sad about this and I feel it's not going nowhere and this type of stuff. But anyhow, so I was like, what if I got her on my team? Like, what if I had a team? What if like I was not just offering social media and graphic design anymore? What if I could offer everything? And I could just I'm using her portfolio in my agency's portfolio, but
Mhm.
I give the all the work to her, for instance. And then I thought I want to get one person that does one thing. So I asked another friends I have that does copywriting. None of them have their agencies. That was really important for me because there cannot be a conflict of interest of like, oh, you have your agency. No, I want to have one person who does one thing.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
and
Yeah.
then I met people on WhatsApp groups,
Mhm.
and then I built like a little team, and they're all on Slack. We got an SEO project that I gave to my SEO specialist, and he's helped a lot in on onboarding this client. So he deserves all the money he got. And we got two paid ads projects.
Mhm.
So that was, and maybe we're gonna get the third one soon, hopefully. So that's how you kind of build the brand, because these projects are all under my brand. Um, and these two people, the paid ad specialist and the SEO, like they've helped immensely to get the clients on board. I wouldn't have gotten those clients without them. So they absolutely deserve like to get paid, and I'm really happy that I got them on my team. My goal is really if I hopefully I will scale in the future, and I will get more people on board. Maybe in that case, it would be a bit better organized. But
Mhm.
right now, we're kind of going with like low budget projects, so it's like it is what it is. But I would love to just like have a client that you know, gives all the marketing to us, and we just work on their marketing together for a long time, because that's the best thing, right? Like having just one entity that manages your marketing, instead of,
Yeah.
oh, you're giving it to one person, then you're giving it to the next person, this person is doing something completely different.
Mhm.
So yeah, and what I care about is just like location independence right now, also time independence. As long as you get it done on time, as
Mhm.
long as you
Mhm.
respond to my messages, I don't care when you get it done, where you get it done.
And so how did you know when to build a team? Because I did ask another guest this, and they said, oh, well, when you're really crunched and you're like staying up all hours and you're not able to do, you're not able to get it all done. And I think that's really and I like certainly that's a valid time to build a team, but like I don't think that's necessarily the only time to build a team. And I get the sense that you kind of built the team first and attracted the clients after. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I told my contractors, I don't know when I'll have work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have work for you right now, but I want to be able to go on a call and say, yes, we can do paid ads for you. and
Mhm.
then figure out, oh my god, where do I get these paid ads? You know, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
where do I get, like, I really don't believe in posting on a random Facebook group and being, I wanna talk to the people that I know, and I know this, like, all goes back to referrals, and
Mhm.
I'm not getting referrals and whatever. But like, I don't believe in just interviewing a shit ton of people, interviewing a ton of people, and then not letting them know. Like, I do so many calls with people that just I don't hear back from them, or they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we actually
Yeah.
changed our mind. That was a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to waste anyone's time. So yes, I have them on my Slack, and I told, I was like, you are the first person
Mhm.
that comes to my that I will give this project to if this project comes along.
Mhm.
Now it just happened that we got paid and paid ads and SEO projects first,
Mhm.
but it could be that I do want to get like an email marketing project as well to give to my friend, or we can work on it together, because like social media and email marketing kind of work together.
Yeah.
It's all, and I've just been so busy and overwhelmed, like, to be completely honest, by especially by a project that I'm doing right now. So I haven't had time for that, but I wanted to like be ready if I were to like scale like overnight. Like in February, I actually got 6 new clients.
Mhm.
I actually got 6 projects all in the same week.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
yeah, as
That's
a friend of
amazing.
mine says, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in that case, I was doing everything myself. But in the future, let's say that I get consistent work, consistent clients, I'll definitely put budget aside to kind of and say, we're doing this project, this is how much I can pay. And in that case, I will maybe, ask other people. Again, I prefer single professionals instead
Yeah.
of agencies,
Yeah.
because I mean, there will be a conflict of interest there. So yeah.
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 I hope it gives people some inspiration to, again, like to do that cliched saying, like leap and the net will appear. So I want to be mindful of your time because I know you do have to go in a few minutes. I finish off each episode with like a 3, 2, 1 rapid fire. And so it's 3 people that we should be following or listening to, 2 books that we should be reading, and 1 action step for people.
The people to follow. I
Mhm.
thought about 2 before now,
Okay.
before this video, and before this interview, and I have to think about the third one on the spot. Okay. Um, there's a YouTuber called Ali Abdal.
Hmm.
He's a British YouTuber, and he makes video about making money, and he is a millionaire, but he doesn't make videos like how to make money overnight, how to make money super easy, how to bless you, um, and he's really like he's built like I think he has like 6 million followers. I don't want to, but his followership is in the millions. He's
Amazing.
really, talks
Hmm.
about productivity and all that. Amazing. Another person this is an Italian journalist that I'm
Hmm.
listening to these days. So like, he doesn't write anything in English, and there's no subtitles anywhere. So maybe this might be a
That's
really
okay.
bad suggestion. But his name is Marco Travaglio.
Hmm.
He's a journalist. He exposed the corruption in Italy. I don't know if you're familiar with Berlusconi, but like, he wrote a book about Berlusconi and
Hmm.
about his money, where he was getting his money. Now he has a really realistic vision of the world, especially the world that we live in, with all these wars and, famine, disease, and whatever.
Hmm.
But he has a very non-Western central vision of the world, which I love, because we're
Hmm.
not the only people on earth. We're not gods
Yes, definitely.
as Westerners. There's this creator on Instagram. Her name is Enshu
Hmm.
Elsu, or something like that. And she's like a solo female traveler. She's Ethiopian American, and she's just making videos about traveling around the world and not having children, not having a partner. That's
Hmm.
kind of what I want to do.
Yeah.
Except while running a business. She's just a creator. But like, I
Awesome.
just love her content. I think it's like really relatable. She traveled through Latin America a lot, and I love Latin America. She also traveled through Southeast Asia. So I just really love her content, and and she also aligns it with like feminism and all that.
Yeah.
So her, I think her account's called "Where in the World is Elsu" or something like that. Okay, so
Awesome.
two books. My favorite book of all time is called Milk Fed
Okay.
by Melissa Broder.
Mm-hmm. This, I'm excited to look into it.
It's pretty like, okay, it's about, I don't know what it's about, but like when I read it, it just resonated so bad. Um, it's about a, a disorder,
Mm-hmm.
and but it she just describes it so vividly, and what she how she writes is just so vivid and funny.
Mm-hmm.
So Milk Fed. But another book that I want to suggest is um, I'm glad my mom died
Okay, that's quite a
by
title. That's yeah.
by it was the Nickelodeon star, it was the iCarly star, I forgot her name, but like I'm happy my mom died, or I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
my mom died. And basically she was a child actor in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Not Hollywood, sorry, TV shows. Kids TV shows, and I used to watch her when I was a kid. It's about her being abused by her mother, to become like
Mm-hmm.
a child actor. She
Oh, okay.
exposes, like what and also I love that the narrative of mothers and daughters are not always, on the, because we hear about, oh, like my father is such a piece of like,
Yeah, yeah.
actually I'm more attached to, I'm not in touch with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a little like daddy's girl, like
Yeah.
I love my father to death, and I've always had a difficult relationship with my mother. And this book is kind of like mothers are not always our best friends, because we kind
Right.
of have this idea. I have a lot of girlfriends that are like, oh yeah, my mom, oh yeah, my mom, my mom, my mom. And
Yeah.
like I don't have that relationship with my mom, as my mom has some mental health problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a wonderful relationship with my father, and even if he's not always happy with what I do, he's not happy that I'm far away and I haven't been back in Italy in over 3 years.
Yeah. That'd be hard.
He's not, yeah, but he's like, if you're happy, I'm happy. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I have one action step:
Yeah.
go out there and meet people. It's a beautiful world. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Do it today. Meet people. Do stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, don't make excuses.
Yeah. That's got right now to go to go and do whatever it is that we want to do. We've got to go do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my action step.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate you, and it was so much fun. And I look forward to hearing myself and cringing.
Well, I hope it meets expectation. I hope you don't cringe. And yeah, I'll have to have you back on in a year, and like we can just touch base and where we're both at, and all of the growth in our businesses that we hope we've had by then.
For sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.